You're looking at it and you're saying that everything that's wrong with our culture is why I'm a success.
Wow.
So when I actually got a chance to talk to her, she was like, I never thought about it like that.
Guys, have you heard the buzz about 50 Cent lately? Dude seems to be back in the game, and you know how he never holds back, right? Well, this time around, he's supposedly taking shots at none other than OPR Winfrey and Tyler Perry. Yeah, the big shots in the game. So the word on the street is that 50 is throwing some serious allegations their way, saying they've been messing with the careers of black actresses. I mean, that's a wild claim, but we've all heard those whispers about OPR and Tyler not being as squeaky clean as they portray themselves. Now, with 50 Cent supposedly backing these rumors, things are getting real interesting. But here's the million-dollar question. Why is 50 going off like this? And who are these actresses caught in the crossfire? It's like a whole drama unfolding, and we need the deep. Is 50 Cent onto something big, or is it just another day in the crazy world of Hollywood gossip? Let's dive in.
He would work with Taraji. After he seen the video of Taraji saying, she had to fire her whole team after she done the Empire series for her character Cookie.
All right, firstly, let's dive deeper into this OPR and 50 Cent saga. So OPR has been grabbing headlines, but not for the good stuff. Taraji P. Henson spilled the tea recently, revealing she almost walked away from the Color Purple remake because of some low-pay shenanigans. And guess who's adding fuel to the fire? None other than 50 Cent. Mr. Cent is out here telling Taraji to ditch OPR and roll with his production crew instead. And it's not like this is a new 50's been calling out OPR for a hot minute, accusing her of shady moves, especially when it comes to black actors. He straight up accused her of throwing black actors under the bus while protecting the predators with a lighter skin tone. The dude doesn't hit the pause button on this feud, for real. It's not just your average spat, though. 50 Cent takes his trolling game up a notch by naming his dog after OPR and his cat after OPR ride or die Gayle King.
Oh, that's Oprah.
That's Oprah.
Yeah.
Okay. Named after the Oprah, and your cat's name is?
And then Gail.
Okay, Gail.
But it's not all jokes and games. Fans are out here saying there's some serious truth to 50's claims. They're accusing OPR of climbing to the top by messing over and exploiting black entertainers. The whole online world has been buzzing about Oprah's alleged shady side for a minute, and Taraji's revelation about almost walking away from The Color Purple just added more fuel to the fire.
And almost had to walk away from Color Purple. Yes, ma'am. Who said what? Yes, ma'am. Because you know what? If I don't take a stand, how am I making it easy for Fantasia and Danielle and Hallie and Felicia? Then why am I doing this?
Now let's talk about this Oreo comment. 50 Cent threw some serious shade Oprah's way, calling her an Oreo, black on the outside, but supposedly aligned with the white perspective on the inside. Shots fired. This all started when OPR came at 50 for his raw lyric, claiming he and others were pushing negativity onto the culture. But 50 wasn't having it. He hit back, shining a light on what he perceives as Oprah's split stand. According to him, she started with black women's views, but shifted gears to cater to middle-aged white American women for so long that she's basically become one herself. Shorts fired again. But 50 Cent isn't the only one who's been onto Oprah's vibe for a minute. Ludacris had his own run-in with her way back in 2005. So Luda and the crew from Crash hit up Oprah's show to promote the movie, right? Sounds cool, but nah, OPR had some other plans. Instead of giving Ludacris a chance to talk about his role, she straight up put him on blast for using the N-word in his music. Luda wasn't having it though. In an interview, he spilled the beans saying, "I was there for Crash, the movie. And basically she said something about not agreeing with my music, but she thought I did great in the movie."
Yeah, and basically she said something about not agreeing with my music, but she thought I did great in the movie. And of course I was up there with the whole cast of Crash, and so I didn't necessarily feel like that needed to be said. And even if you don't agree with certain songs I made, say you don't agree with certain songs, don't say you just don't agree with all of my views. Right.
Now here's where it gets messed up. Luda, being the smart dude he is, fired back with some real talk, but OPR wasn't having any of it. She cut out Ludacris's comeback, making it look like he just took the hit without saying a word. Luda spilled the tea, saying, "She was able to say what she said, and then I had my rebuttal. And when I saw the final show, her words were in there. It was in there, but mine weren't in there. So it just looked like I kind of took it." OPR is playing some sneaky moves moves trying to control the narrative, right? It's not just 50 calling her out. Seems like Luda smelled something fishy too. Also, we can't forget about Dave Chappelle in this OPR saga. So, just a year after Ludacris called out OPR, Dave rolled up on her show to spill the beans on why he turned down a whopping $50 million offer from Comedy Central and dipped to Africa. He was trying to explain that big money deals isn't all sunshine and rainbows. They come with some serious strings attached. But OPR wasn't letting Dave off the hook that easy. She kept pressing him, trying to make him admit he went off the deep end. Dave was like, "Yo, enough is enough." OPR hit him with questions like, "Colleagues reported you became increasingly paranoid. Would you say you were paranoid?" And Dave, being the legend he is, responded with, "Sure, what's a black man without his paranoia? You win $100 and you're still looking over your shoulder on the subway." OPR, not letting up, asked if Dave went to a psychiatric hospital in South Africa. Dave, with his signature wit, was like, "Who?" OPR, persistent as ever, kept pushing, and Dave laid it out. People around him were pushing for him to take antipsychotic meds, but OPR brushed it off like it was no big deal, repeating that Dave was just stressed and paranoid. Dave wasn't having it, though. He spilled more tea, talking about how folks were trying to get him on meds, and he wasn't having any of that control game. He straight up said, "I'm not taking this medicine, man, because I know these people be trying to control you or maybe discredit you. I was afraid." OPR, sticking to her narrative, insisted he was just stressed. Dave kept it real, saying, "No question, but it's very stressful for someone to constantly walk behind you and say you're insane."
Colleagues recorded as saying that you had become increasingly paranoid. Would you say you were paranoid?
Sure. First of all, what is a black man without his paranoia intact?
So did you go to a psychiatric hospital?
In South Africa?
Yeah.
Who?
Stressed out. That's
There's
why.
no question. But it's very stressful for someone to constantly walk behind you and say, "You're insane."
The whole thing was like a chess match, and Dave wasn't playing Oprah's game. The man had his reasons for bouncing, and he wasn't letting anyone mess with his head. OPR might be the queen of interviews, but Dave Chappelle showed he's a king in the game of staying true to himself. Now, while all this craziness is going down, she's catching major heat for being buddy-buddy with none other than the infamous Harvey Weinstein, the convicted sex offender. OPR and Weinstein had their friendship on full display, like they were proud BFFs. But when Weinstein's dirty laundry got aired out, the heat turned up on OPR. Celebs started spilling the tea, claiming OPR was well aware of Weinstein's foul deeds. Sources close to Weinstein even spilled the beans, saying when those serious allegations hit the headlines, OPR reached out and had his back. An insider from Weinstein's inner circle told TMZ that OPR basically told him to step up and defend himself, promising to stand right there beside him. It wasn't just OPR making calls, but Weinstein made it seem like she was his main ride or die. OPR tried to brush it off later, but then other celebs like Rose McGowan and Seal jumped in, dropping truth bombs. Rose called OPR a lizard in a tweet, saying she supports a messed up power structure for her own gain. And Seal went all in on Instagram, posting a pic of OPR and Weinstein with a caption that basically said, "You've been part of the problem for decades, and now suddenly they think you're the solution." In the caption, he wrote, "Oh, I forgot, that's right, you'd heard the rumors, but you had no idea he was actually serially A-ing young starry-eyed actresses who in turn had no idea what they were getting into. My bad," the singer said in the post, which accompanied a meme of Winfrey and Weinstein. "When you have been part of the problem for decades, but suddenly they all think you are the solution," the meme says, over photos of the two at events, one with Winfrey kissing Weinstein's cheek. He concluded with the hashtag #sanctimonious_Hollywood. It's like OPR has got some serious explaining to do. When your friendship with a dude like Weinstein comes under scrutiny, you know things are hitting the fan. OPR track record of tossing black artists aside and cozying up to the wrong crowd is nothing new. And people are giving major props to 50 Cent for calling out OPR game way back before it became public knowledge. In a recent chat with The Guardian, 50 revisited his beef with OPR and straight up called her out for trying to label his music as ignorant. The man got shot 9 times and poured that pain into his music. He's like, "We all write about our struggles, right? So why can't we express it the way we experienced it?" And then when Taraji spilled the tea about practically having to beg for fair pay on the new Color Purple remake produced by OPR, 50 threw some support Taraji's way. He took to Instagram, sharing a screenshot about Taraji shaking up her team after they didn't capitalize on her success in Empire. The post was captioned, "They dropped the ball. F 'em, Taraji P. Henson. I'm ready to work. Let's get it. It's like 50 Cent is out here being the voice of reason, giving props to those who deserve it and calling out the shady moves. Now, 50 Cent also threw down with Tyler Perry, and it's all about Monique. So, word on the street is 50 isn't too happy with Tyler for supposedly messing with Monique's career and sending it on a wild roller coaster to nowhere. According to 50, he launched a whole campaign to help Monique out and even had a private chat with Tyler Perry in defense of the Oscar-winning actress.
I was like, canceled, like, Monique, why is she canceled? I had to revisit that because it was like, it didn't make sense to me.
In a sit-down on Big Boy's Neighborhood in January, 50 spilled the beans about Monique's casting in the second season of his series BMF and how he stepped up to reignite her career. Apparently, Monique was dealing with some heavy blackballing, allegedly from the likes of Lee Daniels, Oprah Winfrey, and Tyler Perry. 50 Cent wasn't having it, and he straight up confronted Tyler Perry about it. According to 50, he asked Tyler about Monique's cancellation, and Tyler's response was like, "I never told no one not to work with her." But 50 hit him with the real talk, saying, "But you're Tyler Perry, and you never told anyone to." He couldn't wrap his head around why Monique was out of the game for 13 whole years just because of something she said.
I was like, nah, I never told no one not to work with her. And I said, but you Tyler Perry, and you never told anyone to.
What really blew 50's mind was that Monique spent over a decade calling out Lee Daniels, Oprah Winfrey, and Tyler Perry, claiming they worked together to blackball her for not doing promotional press for the 2009 film Precious. Monique hit the stage at the Apollo Theater and went off on Tyler Perry, director Lee Daniels, and Oprah Winfrey, accusing them of whiteballing her from Hollywood. The Oscar-winning actress was doing her comedy thing when she got real about her strained relationships with Perry, Daniels, and Winfrey. Remember her in Daniels' 2010 film Precious? Well, since then, she's only been in 4 films, and she's blaming it on their whiteballing. Back in 2015, she first spilled the beans about being blackballed by this trio. Daniels, in response, told The Hollywood Reporter that Monique's demands during Precious didn't always align with the campaign, and that it soured her relationship with Hollywood. So, Monique spilled some more tea during her Apollo set, saying that the term blackballed isn't quite right in her book. In her words, she said, "What is that black D connected to? That black man? So no, I was not blackballed. I was whiteballed by some black Ds who have no balls. Thank you, Mr. Lee Daniels. Thank you, Mr. Tyler Perry. Thank you, Miss Oprah Winfrey." She continued, "See, I know they like to say, Monique, you talk too much. It would kill me not to say the real You are not paying me equally. You are not treating me fairly so you can suck my D if I had one."
What is that black dick connected to? That black man? So no, I was not blackballed.
Now, back in February 2022, Monique spilled the tea with some behind-the-scenes receipts about Tyler Perry. Turns out, Perry wanted her to apologize for those blackball claims before he'd even agree to sit down with her. Monique wasn't having it, though. She went public, posting on Instagram and basically saying, "I'm not going anywhere. Eventually, people will see, listen, and do something about you not keeping your word." It's like a Hollywood showdown playing out on social media. For context, back in 2009, Monique had a plan to do a press tour for the movie Precious, co-produced by OPR and Tyler Perry. They wanted to ride the wave of her Oscar nomination buzz, but here's the kicker. They weren't planning to pay her for the tour, and she was already drained from filming. Monique decided to skip the tour and take a breather with her family. Seemed like a straightforward call, and everyone seemed cool with it. She said, "OPR, I'm doing a talk show, I'm doing a comedy tour, I have a husband, and I have babies. I have a little bit of downtime, and I'm going to take advantage of it. So I'm not going anywhere because I'm not obligated to go anywhere. I've done my part." So we mutually agreed to disagree. That was it. Next thing I know, I am considered difficult and hard to work with. Fast forward a few weeks, and bam! Media stories start popping up, painting Monique as difficult to work with. Suddenly, no one wanted to cast her, despite her winning an Oscar for her role in Precious. Imagine seeing all your hard work go down the drain. Monique started putting 2 and 2 together, realizing someone was out to get her. In a recent chat with The Hollywood Reporter, she spilled the beans that Precious director Lee Daniels admitted she got blackballed for not playing the game. Monique's even called out OPR and Tyler Perry, asking for an apology that, as far as we know, is still MIA. A few months after the press tour mess, Monique spilled the beans on Comedy Central about how OPR invited Monique's brother Gerald and her parents to her show. Here's the backstory. Monique's brother abused her when she was 7 to 11, and she had been open about it in a 2008 interview with Essence. Monique confided in OPR about her strained relationship with her parents due to the abuse, and OPR seemed understanding. Monique said she was cool with OPR inviting Gerald, but didn't want to be part of it. Fast forward to the taping, and Monique was blindsided seeing commercials featuring torturing her family. OPR had gone back on her word, pretending to be caring. Monique demanded an apology, but OPR offered zilch. No private, no public apology.
She said, if you don't want me to have your brother on the show, I will cancel the show. No show will happen. But I wanted to call you up to see how you felt first. Now I begin to see commercials with my brother, my mother, my father, and my other brother.
Now, fast forward to March last year, and 50 Cent stepped up, declaring he wanted to see Monique dominating Hollywood again, and he's ready to make it happen. The Candy Shop MC was on a mission. He even called out OPR Winfrey and Tyler Perry, saying they need to apologize for the alleged damage they did to Monique's career. 50 wrote on social media, "I'm sure OPR Winfrey and Tyler Perry would not want to continue to allow their influence to damage Mo's career, and this has gone on for way too long. So now would be a great time to apologize because I'm going to put her back on. I don't miss." Basically, 50 Cent has been in Monique's corner since catching her live during Super Bowl weekend. After giving her props for a killer show, he called out fans for canceling the Parker's actress and made it clear he's on a mission to see her back on top. Now let's dive back into the core of the issue, Tyler Perry and the controversies surrounding his work. Despite his massive success, Perry's films and shows have taken some heat for reinforcing negative stereotypes of Black identity. Spike Lee, the genius behind classics like Do the Right Thing, didn't hold back, calling out Perry's work for what he deemed as coonery buffoonery. And Spike wasn't alone in his criticism. Jamila Lemieux, in an open letter to Perry, expressed gratitude for the opportunities he offered, but questioned how Black men and women were portrayed in his narratives.
A lot of stuff that's on today is coonery and buffoonery, but we could do better.
We're talking about Tyler Perry at this point.
Now, while Tyler Perry has his share of critics, some fans are applauding 50 Cent for backing Black talent like Monique and for taking a stand against industry heavyweights like Perry. One fan said, "I love the fact that 50 is about what's right. He's for all in all for one treating people right. 50, you have my vote, keeping doing what's right." While another said, "Good for 50 Cent. I'm getting tired of seeing people of color being stereotyped and misinterpreted by Tyler Perry Studios." Tyler Perry thinks he's helping his community when truthfully, he is negatively affecting his community. But here's the real deal. What's your take on all this? Do you think 50 Cent has a point in what he's saying about OPR and Tyler? Are there other actresses you believe might have been negatively impacted by the actions of OPR and Tyler Perry? Drop your thoughts in the comment section and let's keep this conversation going. Catch you in the next video.